I've got a bone to pick with the pre-med world. I'm tired of hearing these dogmatic, reductionist statements that are carelessly thrown around that can be incredibly discouraging to any hopeful pre-med trying to get into medical school. This was a problem when I was applying, and it saddens me to continue hearing about the struggles that pre-meds are still having with this. So this one goes out to all of you hopeful pre-meds looking to apply, and if you've already been through the process, maybe drop a comment down below and share your experience or some words of encouragement. I'm sure it'd be greatly appreciated. All right, without any further ado, let's go. So a quick background. Now that I'm in med school, along with the gradual exposure that I'm getting from this YouTube channel and social media, I'll have pre-med students reach out from time to time for some advice or insight. And depending on what they're looking for, it may just be a quick DM or email response, but oftentimes to provide an adequate response, it requires a deeper dive into their specific situation. And in those cases, I'll schedule a Zoom call with the student. I've been able to meet some amazing people doing this, and I think I've been able to help out quite a few as well. So that's the background or the setup into the problem. The problem itself is what some of these pre-meds are being told before they get to me. They may have met with the pre-med advisor, physician, friend, family member, or some random internet troll. And a quick disclaimer, I'm not saying that all of these sources are bad, except for the internet troll. In fact, I would at least hope that the majority of the time you're getting solid advice here. But the quality of advice can vary wildly, even among those that are credentialed. So it's important to be able to discern the good advice from the bad. Be careful who or what you choose to listen to, and this goes for me as well. Take everything that I'm telling you with a grain of salt. You need to gather all of the information and insight that you can, and then ultimately decide for yourself. But so that you have some awareness of what to be on the lookout for, here are some examples that at least I would consider to be red flags. First and foremost, let's get the internet trolls out of the way. If it's just some random person on the internet, i.e. an emotionally charged keyboard warrior, arguing with them is an exercise in futility. Bill Murray has a fun quote for this. It's hard to win an argument with a smart person, but it's damn near impossible to win an argument with a stupid person. So save yourself some time and heartache and just don't engage them. Number two is not being up to date with the process. So you want to make sure that whoever you're getting advice from is up to date with how this works. So if it's someone that went to med school 10, 20, 30 years ago and they haven't been keeping up to date, they may still be able to provide some good advice, but it's likely that they're missing quite a few things as well. Number three, and this is probably the one that I see most often, and that's hyper-focusing on a single all-important aspect of the application and then making an absolute snap judgment based on that one thing. And this is not great because, as we all know,
only a Sith deals in absolutes.
This is commonly the MCAT or GPA. Now, of course, both of these things do matter, but they're not the only things that matter. This process is multifactorial. There are so many things that go into making a successful med school application. Generally, if you're weak in one area, you probably will need to make up for it in another. For example, if you have a low GPA, you'll need a higher MCAT and vice versa. If they're both average or even below average, then you'll want to do the best you can to make up for it with some solid clinical experience, good letters of recommendation, and a well-written application. In an ideal world, you would have all of these things alongside a perfect MCAT and GPA, but that doesn't happen for everyone, or really anyone, and that's okay. If you're human, spoiler alert, you're not perfect, and your application's not gonna be perfect either. Now, this isn't permission to be lazy. Do the best you can to make it as close to perfect as you can, but recognize the complexity. While it's certainly possible for a single component to sink your application if you completely bomb it, I think the more common example is the student with a low GPA or MCAT being told something extremely discouraging, like you won't even be accepted. I've encountered several situations similar to this, but I know one pre-med who had a great application but scored a 503 on the MCAT, which is right around average. That pre-med was told that they wouldn't be accepted to any MD programs. They were of course disheartened to hear this, but stubborn enough to push through and prove that mentor wrong. And at the end of the application cycle, they had been accepted to multiple MD programs and DO as well. And the reason that I get so fired up when I hear about examples like this with current pre-meds is because that student was me. Lastly, I just wanted to offer some words of encouragement for any of you that may be feeling discouraged by anything that you've heard or have been told. I believe in you, and you should too. Feel free to reach out if you need any advice or insight. I do keep quite a busy schedule, but I do my very best to respond to everyone, and I'm happy to help however I can. So for the naysayers in your life, Let's prove them wrong. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you got something out of this, please consider subscribing. It really helps out so that I can keep making these videos. Go ahead and give the video a like, drop a comment down below. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.